welcome everybody to the first ever episode of the Fact Unknown podcast, dude. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Max Farrell, and I'm here with my co-host Ethan Waddington Smith. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm going well. This is a great day to be filming this episode. We've just started, got all our equipment here, all our eggs in one basket, and then we can finally start.
Dude, it's been a bit. I'm
we
excited.
can finally start this podcast.
Been a while in the making, but
Fact Unknown.
Dude,
Who came up with that name?
look, it was a collaborative effort.
Collaborative.
Collaborative.
I struggle with my grammar.
It is what it is, man.
It is what it is. Anyway, we've got a few topics to discuss about today. And one of the most important ones that we want to talk about is we want the people to know about us. Who are we?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, brand new podcast on that.
Exactly, yeah.
Need to know their hosts.
So why don't we start with you?
Me? All right. I'll start with myself. My name is Max Farrell. I'm 20 years old. 21 in a month. Ethan is actually also 21 in a month. Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thanks. To you too, man. You're like 2 weeks younger than me, so.
No, well, you'll always view me as your older brother, though. I'm your big brother.
Literally. Whatever you say.
Literally. You're 3'4".
Yeah, well, actually, I stand at 5'11". So
Centimeters?
Shut up, man. 5'11", 6 foot with shoes. That's what matters because we wear shoes 90% of the time anyway.
No, I don't. I'm barefoot.
And yeah, other than that, that's all I've really got in terms of my stats. I think it's worth mentioning really quickly also that it's an audio-only podcast today. We will have video in the future, so you'll be able to see what we look like.
Exactly right. It's coming.
How about you, man?
Shortly as well.
Tell us about yourself as well.
I'm 20 years old, same as you. 21 shortly as well. I'm going to celebrate my birthday with caution.
Caution? How so?
Because I'm not excited.
Why, man?
I'm not excited to turn 21.
Why not, bro?
Because I've only got a small friend group.
So? What do you mean?
Dude, try throwing a party with 3 people. Yeah?
Dude, I'd rather have a couple good friends than like a massive set of acquaintances. Like, come on.
It depends. It depends on what type of day it is.
Give me an example.
Well, if I went out, let's say I went out nightclubbing, right?
Right.
And then I had every single one of my friends there to fill up the nightclub. Empty nightclub. If the people I was acquainted with, that nightclub's full. Drinks around. But I think we're straying off topic. You're 5'11". That's so cap.
Dude.
That is so cap.
It isn't.
I'm 6'2". I tower over you.
Yeah, by like 4 inches, which is probably the difference. That makes sense.
4 inches. That's average.
I'd say 4 inches is pretty average.
I'd say
It's a good size, actually.
Yeah, no. No.
All right, let's move on.
yeah, definitely. Hobbies. What are your interests? What are your hobbies, man?
I like to keep my hobbies pretty varied, actually. I'm a massive fan of snowboarding. I love all kinds of sports, to be honest. I play volleyball. I go to the gym. I get really into the gym, except for currently I'm injured. Haven't been for a while, but neither here nor there.
That's a bit unfortunate. What'd you do?
I broke my shoulder.
You broke your shoulder?
Without getting too far into it, I broke my shoulder doing volleyball training. So,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Anyway, I love sport, love all kinds of sport, snowboarding, gym, and I also get really into TV shows and that as well. So other than that, my hobbies are fairly standard. How about yourself, man?
Look, I'm limited. Let's just say that. I don't have much hobbies. I probably spend most of my time meditating. I showed you a video earlier. Do you know the Japanese flute music that I meditate to?
Yeah, it's very calming.
Calming, relaxing.
Yeah.
You just sit there. I live on a farm and I sit beside a creek, and it's all nice and protected by willow trees. And I just sit there listening to Japanese flute music, and I'm telling you, mate, it's one of the best feelings ever. You get lost. I'm trying to find myself spiritually, and I've dropped a lot of my hobbies off, and I'm just into meditation really at the moment.
That's good, man.
Yeah, exactly. You said that you watch a lot of TV shows for your hobbies, correct?
I do. Oh, I mean, I'm a bit lazy at heart, so of course I love sitting down on TV.
What type of shows do you watch?
I would say 90% of the shows I watch are actually anime. Like, I'm a big anime fan.
Anime like anime or like a cartoon type anime?
No, like actual anime, like Japanese anime style, like those kind of films. Yeah.
What's your favorite one?
Attack on Titan, man.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan.
Why is that?
Absolutely. It is the single, in my opinion, all right, in my opinion, it is the single best written story of all time. Zero loopholes.
Okay.
And there's no plot armor, which means bad things can still happen to the main characters, which is good because it means it's unpredictable.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good. Not like majority of the TV shows that we watch, well, like I watch.
Oh, it just happens so often in TV shows and stuff where it's like the main character, of course they're not going to die or like whatever.
Well, who's your favorite main character?
Well, Eren Yeager.
Eren Yeager.
Eren Yeager is the main character of Attack on Titan. Yeah.
Is that because I've seen a meme actually recently. It's like Eren Yeager or something like that. Eren Yeager.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, that's who they're referring
really?
to. About. Yeah.
When did you start watching it?
Oh God, I started watching it. The first time I watched Attack on Titan, it was like one of the first couple animes I watched. Like it was pretty fresh at the start of my anime watching career.
Okay. Yeah.
I reckon. Oh God, what are we now? Probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I watched the first one, and then I had to wait a considerable amount of time for season 4 to come out.
Yeah.
But they're splitting season 4 into 3 different sections.
3.
Yeah.
How so?
Like the first part of season 4 come out in like a set of like five episodes.
I get you. They're not releasing season 4.
Yeah, and then we have to wait 6 months for season 4 part 2, which
ridiculous.
come out just in March, a couple of months
Really?
ago. Yeah, and now we have to wait another 6 months for the final part to come out. I know it's incredibly annoying, but
You're up to date though at the moment.
yes. Well, I actually tell a lie. I'm going to get absolutely slaughtered for this, but I prefer to watch anime in English.
Okay.
Despite it being like a typically Japanese spoken thing.
Yep.
And season 4 part 2 is not out in English yet, so I've not watched that. I'm actually a little behind. But
Oh, really?
second that comes out in English, I'll be watching that. But yeah, other than that, it's such a good show.
Well, if it's so good, would you change anything about it? Or is it just perfect the way it is, do you reckon?
Oh God, look, there's of course there's things I'd change. Like I love it when the main character gets more attention.
Okay, yeah.
So like if I could, I'd say give the main character more attention. But other than that, like I said before, literally no plot holes. I absolutely love it. And I've not seen the end, and I know vaguely the ending, but I don't know exactly. Yep. So I couldn't say what I'd change. But other than that, no, I probably wouldn't say I wouldn't change anything.
Okay. How about the earlier season? Would you rewrite any of the earlier seasons to make it a little bit more
No,
entertaining?
it's kind of hard to explain it until you've actually watched a show like that, because you don't realize it when you're watching it, but everything that happens in the early seasons has an impact on the late seasons.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
So it's like that's what I mean by like no plot holes. Like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, other than that, man, aside from that, I could talk about anime for literally hours.
Yeah.
How about you? I know you like to partake in some either movies, TV shows. What would you say is your single favorite if you had to put it down to one?
Well, I'm going to say, do you like anime? I like the opposite spectrum. Cartoons.
Oh, I am a cartoon fan as well, but yeah, I would have to stand on anime side personally.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite cartoon that I've ever watched, like become totally immersed in, is probably Adventure Time.
Classic.
Yeah,
that's like childhood pinnacle kind of thing.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Right. So obviously, I know a bit of the plot of Adventure Time, but what's your favorite character? I guess you could say in Adventure Time.
Look, unlike how you structured your anime before, you've got Eren Yeager. You find him the most favorite. I think that nearly every single person in Adventure Time makes every episode work.
Right.
So they're all just as good as each other. Probably the most entertaining would be Ice King. The way he steals all the princesses. He's one fucked up unit.
Yeah.
He's one fucked up man.
He's a deranged individual.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say probably the most entertaining to watch is Jake the dog.
Yeah, Jake's a
he's
classic.
OG,
Jake's good.
100%. He's probably the best character.
Jake is good.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, a big fan of Jake for sure. But I got a good question.
Yeah, go on.
Do you remember the first episode you ever watched? If you do, when was it?
Yes. The first ever episode that I watched, it was my first day of grade 6 in primary school.
Right.
So
how many years ago was that?
100 100+ years
Mate.
ago. No, I don't know. I don't really keep good track on that, but I do remember. I do remember that.
I got news for you, buddy. I just calculated. It's like nearly 9 years ago.
I'm old.
Yeah, that's
We're
crazy.
getting
isn't
really
it?
old. It's
That's
actually
that's nearly
horrible.
that's the better part of 10 years ago.
Well,
It's
it's not.
crazy.
It's not a decade yet.
Yeah, I said better part.
Yeah,
of.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not ever going to be a decade. But nevertheless, the first time I ever watched it was my first day of grade 6. I remember waking up early and Cartoon Network would always be on the TV when I'd wake up. My parents would watch Cartoon Network and then they'd put on 7 News. Sometimes you'd listen to Ben 10. You'd watch Ben
Ooh.
10.
Childhood favorite of mine.
Yeah, Teen Titans. Really, really good. as
Love
well.
Teen Titans. Yeah.
But the OG was Adventure Time. And the first time I ever watched it, it must have been like season 2 Adventure Time as well. So it wasn't like the first ever episode.
Right.
I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did you backtrack to see like episode 1 and watch it from there, or
No, I kind of really
was
I
it
kind of really forgot
spontaneous?
about it. I forgot about Adventure Time. It was only until after high school. Then I was bored. I have nothing to do, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna dabble into one of my old childhood memories, and then oh yeah,
Immersed.
immersed. That's an understatement.
Yeah.
When I become fascinated in a TV show, I binge watch it. It's
Literally
toxic.
same.
It's bad. Like you shouldn't ever watch your favorite thing because once it's done, you can't really. It took me I think about 3 weeks on and off to watch Adventure Time from the first ever episode to the end.
Yeah. I whenever I get into a new anime, Attack on Titan was in particular. Like I devote like a whole weekend to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you'll go to work or school or whatever, and you come home and just watch it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I love it.
Like
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. I think it took me I think watching it basically like literally from the time I wake up to go to bed, it took me like a week
Yep.
to watch Attack on Titan.
But how
But
much seasons are there? Well,
4.
4, yeah.
Yeah,
shit,
4,
exactly.
but they're broken up into
Yeah.
bits.
How much episodes are in each season?
Oh, that's a great question. I think all up at where I am now, there's like 150 or something episodes.
Per season?
No,
Oh,
where I
God.
am in season 4, like the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
So-
I got you.
I could be completely botching that, or maybe it's like only 100. But I've watched so many animes now, I don't even remember how many episodes. But if I had to guess, I'd say 20 episodes per season, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So
If I had to guess, maybe sometimes there's only 12. Like, I don't know, it varies. But other than that, Adventure Time, right?
Yeah.
Do you think, would you change the ending?
No.
Or I should reword that. Do you like how it ended?
No, I don't like how it ended because when you grow up, like I grew up with Adventure Time on and off my whole life, and then when I binge watched it, I felt horrible because it ended, and then that was it. It just ended.
But I like the actual content of the episode, like not how it made you feel.
Okay.
I mean, like the actual ending of the show.
It was great. It was great. Jake died.
Whoa!
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Disclaimer. Probably should put a disclaimer in there.
Whoa!
Jake died. Then Finn died, and they travel. Yeah, and then then Finn travels into their heaven or their hell, wherever it is, and he finds Jake, and Jake doesn't remember who Finn is, right? But then he eventually does towards the end.
Damn.
And then they get reincarnated as 2 little characters at
Oh,
the original
and
treehouse.
is that when is that where Jake's like the big circular thing and Finn's like that little rat looking thing?
Yeah.
I've seen
So
that.
it's like then they get reincarnated, and that's why that's one of the reasons why I don't like the ending of Adventure Time so much is because they left you on the biggest cliffhanger ever.
Right.
They could have picked up.
But sometimes that's the best part.
No, the last episode of Adventure Time goes for I think like an hour and 10 minutes or something like
Yeah,
that.
Attack on Titan's the same. Yeah.
And so it's like it's a full movie. I hate movies that end on cliffhangers.
I agree.
And when you've built, and it's not because it's not just a movie, it's a whole TV show with a movie attached to it. When the last episode, and so when you build up all this love for something, and then the last ever episode is just the biggest cliffhanger,
Yeah,
you sit there and go, "Damn,
I get that.
what a waste of time." But
I get that totally because there's a couple animes where I'd watch where it'd be like it's like to actually follow along with the storyline,
Yeah.
you have to watch a movie to continue.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like you watch 12 episodes, watch the movie, and then the 13th episode picks up where the movie like stops.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I just hate that, man. Just make it like all episodes.
It's chaotic. It's
Yeah,
chaotic.
like Jujutsu Kaisen, for anyone listening who knows that, that's a prime example where like to get the full storyline, you should watch the movie as well. Otherwise, it's a bit confusing. But anyway, that enough being said in regards to that. Pretty important one here.
Yeah.
In regards to the direction of this actual podcast.
That is probably the most important
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
Yeah, well, not opposed to us. Like,
Yeah, but
we make the show.
we host the show, but
We need to have some sort of...
yeah. As mentioned in the very beginning, in case any of you missed it, this podcast is called the Fact Unknown Podcast. We thought that was a pretty broad name because it covers all the spectrums, because we're not going to be strapping ourselves down to one particular, demographic or anything like that.
Like we experimented with so many names, but every single name we chose, it either boxed us into a particular category.
Yeah, exactly.
It just limited us.
Yeah. And not to mention, like, Fact Unknown. It's like you're always learning stuff about each other, other people, guests, all that kind of stuff that we plan on having on.
Exactly.
But one thing that I really want to point out, and Ethan can attest to this, is obviously this is an audio-only podcast, like I mentioned, but we will be having video recordings as well as part of the podcast. In fact, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 episodes, that'll be coming along. But we have a studio coming along.
Yeah, we're in the middle of...
In the midst
of making a studio. We're on the fence. We're on the fence with what kind of art we want.
Bit indecisive.
Yeah. So it's like, we don't know if we want my side of the room to conflict with Max's side of the room, if we want a theme. We're on the fence. We've got some really, really cool ideas, and I can't wait for us to get the camera in and show you what the studio is going to look like when it's done. Because it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Quite frankly, we'll probably start recording before the studio's fully done.
Yeah.
Because then we'll be able to at least get it out there. Obviously, like having the video along with the audio makes it just a far better experience.
Definitely.
And then it'll be able to be a cool thing, because then we'll be able to unveil the whole new, style of the studio, which will be awesome. But another thing that I wanted to bring up briefly is the timeframes in which we'll be operating. How often we're going to be posting? When can they expect to see us? How often?
Well, it depends. And that's difficult for us because we're in the midst of renovating our studio, and we both work. We basically work 2 full-time jobs, and it's a bit difficult. We're trying to be as consistent as we can. We're just in the middle of writing some sort of algorithm that works best for us. I work on the weekends typically, whereas you have the weekends off.
Yeah,
and it's just odd. But we really want to aim for, 1 episode a week.
Exactly.
Yeah, just have a consistency. You tune in, and you go, okay, well, this is the Fact Unknown. We're going to tune in every... What day do you reckon? Because we figured we want to do an episode a week, sorry. But we don't know what day we want to publish it. We're going to go Monday, maybe?
Look, that'll be to be confirmed. That's not really the bigger part of it, but it's more so just if we have that stability for both us and the audience, it just makes it so much better, because then you've got a consistent thing you can come back to, and that kind of thing. But on top of that, obviously working around us and everything, it might take a bit to get going, but we've got a lot of goals for the podcast as well.
Of course.
Like a lot of goals, like aspirations in where we want to go. Eventually, we would like, and in fact, I can say with fair certainty at this point, despite us kind of still getting our footing together, at one point, sooner or later, we will be for certain consistently posting every week. And it won't become a matter of, do we have the time?
Yeah.
It will be set in the schedule. And that's what
it'll be set in stone.
Exactly.
And that's our goal. We want to try and find a time that works for both of us.
Yep.
We can film, and then we can just edit it, and then some of our videos are going to be unedited, so you'll be able to hear our
uncut.
Yeah. Well, you'll be able to hear our beautiful
beautiful mess ups. You could say.
Exactly. You can definitely say that.
All of the mistakes, but nonetheless, in regards to our actual goals itself, I'd say our first and foremost goal is just developing consistency.
Yeah.
And then from there, it'll be just, obviously, like, to be honest, we're not really looking at numbers at this point, and frankly, it's not going to be really something that motivates us as much as the fact that we do want to just put out this content out there. We want to be able to bring people together that otherwise may not have ever kind of, been in an environment like this where we can share information.
It's a journey.
Everything.
We're starting a journey together.
Yeah.
And Max and I, we're starting this journey together, and eventually we're going to bring you all into it, and we're just going to grow. I'm just so excited. I really can't contain my own emotion at all. Actually, I'm jumping around right now on the chair. I'm thrilled to be here. We've laid the first pavement.
Yeah, first step. First step's been
Exactly.
taken. Putting this out.
100%, definitely.
Yeah, and you can expect to see, hopefully, fingers crossed, shortly, be able to see much more coming from us. Before we do head off, I wanted to say one more thing. Linked in the description, we do have another channel that we'll be posting on YouTube, and it will be about us and all that kind of thing, but it's not going to be simultaneously run alongside the podcast. This is going to be an area that you can come and watch additional content from Ethan and I as we do other stuff. So we do recommend you go check that out.
It's going to be random as well.
Yeah,
it's not just going to be sitting down talking shit about a particular thing.
It'll be us mucking around.
It'll be us going on adventures, doing everything you can think of, everything we can do under the sun.
Exactly.
And I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you guys
excited.
to see that as well.
That'll be great.
Just don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon on our YouTube channels. Mm-hmm. And with our podcast, just make sure you follow us, subscribe.
Spotify, Apple Music, they'll be our main two platforms in which we post. But otherwise,
and we'll eventually branch out into more. We want to cast. We want to go fishing, basically. Throw up on a massive net, and we're just
cover all the bases.
Yeah, we want to cover everything.
Yep. But other than that, if that's everything, then thanks so much for listening, everybody. Keep an eye out for us. You'll definitely be seeing us shortly. And if that's everything, we'll see you later.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. Take care of yourselves, all right? Have a good one.
See you later. Bye.